Hello and welcome to the new episode of Strawberry Patches, episode number 13. And my name is Marina. I'm coming to you from Auckland, from New Zealand. Welcome to this episode. Here today I'm going to tell you a lot about what has happened to me in the 2 months that we have been here in Auckland. I will tell you about my dyeing experiments, dyeing wool and yarn, and my first spinning class. Very excited about that. Hope you are as excited as me. I have lots of footage for you, so let's begin. So yeah, last time we talked, it was just one day. When I recorded, it was one day before my birthday, and on that day I went to Waiheke Island with my friend Cher to dye some wool, and today I want to show you the results. So we started by taking some dyes, which were, some of them were food coloring, some of them were just normal acid dyes, and we put them, we pre-soaked the yarn that Cher was so kind to share with me, and in a solution of water and vinegar. After that, we filled up some slow cookers with water and some vinegar again, and put the yarn in and the dye. I have some video clips for you for that. It was so much fun. At that time, I decided to do mainly solid colors because a few of my experiments with different colors didn't turn out the way I wanted, because first of all, I have no idea how, like the colors that are on the bottles, they're very hard to guess. For example, it says pink, but turns out it's like fuchsia pink, and I was thinking of some bubblegum pink or something. And in the end, my experiments ended up with a lot of dyed up wool, which I brought home on that Sunday, and I washed it up again, and then I dried it up. That was a fun experiment. Here I want to show you some of those videos. Hi everyone, today's my birthday and I'm traveling to Waiheke Island to do some dyeing. After that, 1 month after that, exactly on the 18th of March, we went again to the Catherine Mitchell Community Center where we did all our dyeing. And this time I had 5 skeins of undyed natural yarn, which I decided to experiment with, like speckle dyeing and finger painting and some breaking the dye. And I have to say that that was a lot of fun as well. So here's a little video of what happened. I'm very happy with the results. You can see my rainbow colors. And now I have this amazing yarn that I would love to show you. Yeah, here we are. First, let me show you the yarn that has been recently dyed. So this beautiful skein I was inspired by Van Gogh. Remember my top from one of the first episodes that I knitted? So this are the colors that are there. Not so much yellow there, but still. I love the turquoise and bright lemony yellow together. Since this skein is like this, I'm really curious about how it will knit up, and I'm still thinking of a project that could be showing the colors well. I was thinking of socks in the beginning, but now I'm not so sure because I think it will pull in a very funny way. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. These next ones are one of my favorite ones. This one, we took some teal color and I dipped it to break it. So some part of it is lighter than the other, as you can see. And I think this creates a wonderful effect. I think this should be a beautiful shawl, and this is one of my favorite colors too. Next comes aubergine or eggplant. Again, it started, the part that was soaked the most was this part, and then it changed into lovely, lovely lavender color. And I absolutely love it. By the way, these skeins are from Skeins, which is a company that produces New Zealand yarn, which I order online. This is 75% wool and 25% nylon, which is perfect for sock knitting. And when I was choosing it, this was my idea to choose the sock base. But no, even though I knew that this was going to be a 4-ply, I'm still used to a much thicker yarn than this. So right now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe not socks, maybe socks. For me, this is a bit thin. Next ones were speckly yarns. And that day, we also did some eco printing, which I will show next. But this inspired me to make this beautiful flowery, appley colored skeins. This one and this one. So basically what I did here was I just had a pre-soaked yarn and sprinkled with some colors, and at some point I just added more red here and more yellow here. But the rest is the same. These are the same yellows, the same greens, apple green, and the pink, I think. So yeah, it was one of my first experiments, so now I know that when you put too much color, it kind of becomes a bit greasy here and then becomes more brown than bright colors, as I like. And the last skein that I did, I asked Cher to share with me one of her skeins, which was a blend of merino, silk, and nylon, I think. So this yarn is a much softer one than the one that I have here. And it's very, very, very soft. Beautiful. But here, I already see some mistakes of mine, which are, of course, normal. Over here, the yarn was tied up too tight, so there's lots of white looking through. Over here, there was too much color. I think this was the part that I was close to the edge, and all the color kind of ran there. And after that, after we rolled them up in cling foil and steamed them in a steamer for half an hour, the colors became even more evident, and it became much different from what it was in the beginning when I started sprinkling it. Oh no, this one I did with like pipette. I just how do you say, like sprinkled some dye directly on the wool at some points. So here you can see distinct specks, while here it's more, I don't know, more solid kind of stuff. So yeah, this was my wool dye. Now, before I show you the yarn, the wool actually, that we dyed with Cher on the first time I went to Waiheke Island, I want to tell you about how I went to my first spinning class. It was so much fun. So in this shop that is my favorite now in whole Auckland, where Cher works, they had a class spinner for spinning, for people who want to learn to spin. So we went there, we got this amazing Ashford spindle and some white wool, not carded, but it was perfect for spinning. It was really nicely done. And then Cher explained to us how to start spinning. And I have some clips here for you again.
You spun it the other way. You spun it towards you.
So of course, after that, she showed us that if we don't have a prepared wool, we can card our own wool. And this is what I did with the yarn that I had dyed previously on 18th February. Again, I was lucky enough to borrow the Ashford carding board from Cher. And actually it looks like one of my brushes that I used for my cat before. So basically what you do is you take pieces of this colorful yarn and you just kind of stroke and paint with it. Now I will show you the punis that we did during that time. First of all, I loved to combine colors, and mainly I had lots of turquoise and purple and some green and pink. And the pink that I had is not the one that I intended to make, but I had to use it anyway, right? So I carded, and then using 2 wooden sticks, I made these wonderful punis, which mainly what they do is all the fibers are aligned in a way that it will be easy then to spin. And for spinning, all you have to do is just pull from one end to form thin, what do you call, thread like this, which will be easier then to attach to a spindle and basically make into yarn. So here is my wonderful puni. I have more also in this bag, but this is all that is left. Actually, I have spun a lot, and my spinning experiments were so much fun. First of all, let me show you the first hank of hand spun yarn that I have. Of course, this is my first, so please don't judge. And I tried on purpose to make it thicker than the normal yarn that we were shown to make, because I didn't want to do a 2-ply. I wanted to try to do singles. And because I have such multicolored yarn, I thought that if I ply it together, there's no way I can repeat them so that they are more or less consistent. That's why I thought they have to be single ply. But of course, like, I know my own mistakes right now. Some of the yarn is too under stress, like it just coils like this one, and then there would be these bumps, which in my book about spinning was the artsy yarn, which of course I didn't do on purpose. This is just the way it had spun. But I'm sure this will be an unforgettable project that one day will see light, hopefully. And finally, I want to show you my spindle with some yarn on it. So this is an Ashford spindle for learners. It was one of the economic versions. It wasn't the most expensive one. And it does not have any rib here. It's just plain wool. No notches here for the yarn to hold, and very basic. But for beginners, it's perfect. For I can tell that, for example, my punis were not perfect because the yarn was not very well carded, of course, because it was my first experience. But nevertheless, look at this. This was my first skein, or hank, or whatever. And this is the second. I think that you can see that it's a bit more consistent. I think there is progress. So yeah, I still have to finish spinning it all. And this will be a process that will take some time. But I promise to keep you updated about this. So the next thing that we did that I already mentioned was the eco printing. I have been fascinated by Maria from Ninja Chickens for a while now, and her eco printing with leaves and flowers and other things. And I have been dying to dye some of my own. So anyways, the second time in March when we went with Cher, she shared with me some silk, just a strip of silk. And she has done also some eco printing on a larger canvas, let's say, on a larger piece of silk, where I helped her. We just put some random flowers and some leaves. And what we did was we just pre-soaked the silk, which is also a protein fiber, in vinegar water. And that's it. Nothing much has been done. So then we rolled them up and we tied them up and steamed them for half an hour again in the steamer. And then we waited for about a week. She also waited about a week, I think, to unravel them. So it has been a couple of days that I did mine. And here's how it went. Dear friends, it's been a week since I tried this eco printing, and I think it's time to unravel. And now I want to show you the washed and the finished silk strip of eco printing that I have. I have to say that I have never worked with silk before, and it's such a light, airy fabric, which is so much fun to play with. And I actually was hoping that it would be much brighter because, of course, the flowers were much brighter. As you can see, these yellow spots are the onion skins, which worked very well. And the rest are some flowers. I think for the first experiment, though, it's pretty perfect. It makes me happy. So I'm very happy that Cher has shared with me. And I have this amazing eco-printed scarf. My mom loves it, so if ever I decide to gift it to her, I think she will be really happy. So now I think after we've done with all the dyeing, spinning, carding and eco printing, I can show a little bit of the things that I have been knitting, creating, and maybe I'll tell you a little bit about my life here in Auckland. Stay with me. So yeah, I want to start with my works in progress. As you know, I really loved going to the Auckland Central Library and I found some amazing books for knitting. And I thought this is the time that I start to make my own sweater. So I got this book, which is Seamless or Nearly Seamless Knits. And the sweaters here, they seemed pretty easy for me. And I've chosen to knit this one, which is called Robin. And the idea is very simple. You knit in a round up till here, then you separate and you knit the rest of it. So I've come up to this point and I want to show you. I've chosen this tweedy raspberry color and this is how far I've gone. To be honest, this is why I've never really liked making sweaters, because no matter, even I made a swatch and I counted and I thought, okay, I'm not a size small, so maybe I should stick with it because it was a bit looser than the gauge that they say. And I decided to stick to the same number of stitches and needles as the size S shows. But still, when I tried it on, it was just too big for me. Like, really seems too big. Maybe once I finished it and I tried it on, it's not going to be so bad. I don't know. So now this is the biggest part. I'm already on finishing my third skein. And from here, we only have to do this part and the sleeves. This is a very easy pattern. And these ribs are very easily memorized, which makes it so much more fun to do. Like, it's such a mindless knitting. When I take it to our knitting group, it's just, I can talk, I can joke, I can listen to anybody and continue knitting on it and I'll be fine. Of course, you remember that I've been working on I keep changing name for it. It's my blanket that I've started in Bali in honor of my late grandma, and I started it on her birthday in December, and this is how far I've gone. But last time we were here where the stitch marker is, and this is how far we've gone. As you can see, it's quite broad now. And here I've done some, these are actually called eggs, popcorn stitch, some other stitches. These are my favorite ones. They look like flowers, some more popcorn or bubbles or whatever under the arches. And there will be this part now, different colors. I really enjoy doing it, especially now that it's Easter time and it's such Easter colors, isn't it? And yeah, it's quite big. Of course, it takes a while, but the change of colors and pattern makes it so much fun. So, since I already mentioned Easter, happy Easter, I want to show you some of my Easter projects, which are a few Easter bunnies. So Easter is tomorrow, and I still haven't finished them, but hopefully soon. No, there's no rush anyway. I haven't promised to anyone that I will finish them, but here we are. I bought some really nice different shades of pink and blue colored solid fabric, and this is what I'm making. All I have to do now is, of course, fill this one up, embroider the face, and this one I'm already at the point where I attached the legs to the body. I think I will put a little bit more falha fiber. Then I will attach the arms and again embroider the face. Might have a dress too, I'm not sure. We shall see. Also, I've been working on some dolls, but mostly it was just back when I was in our little studio apartment before we moved into this house. So I've made just many doll parts, which later I'm going to fill up and turn into some dolls. I'm not sure if I showed you some socks last time. I have a note here saying that I finished some socks. Maybe it was so long ago that I don't remember even. So those socks are finished. Let's just be clear. Now, back, let's turn to, this was whips, finished objects. My finished objects, first of all, are these mitts. I remember showing you this yarn before. Oops, ends to weave in. Yeah, I have to remember that. This was very fun yarn, but it did not pull the same way. I started in the pink, but still, they both look a bit different. However, still happy with the result. And I'm happy with this lovely pattern, which looks like leaves. And yeah, I don't know, my friends say that they like them. I have to say that I enjoy making them too. And what's more, this is 100% wool. And if I want to make them a bit shorter, which they're a bit too big for my hands, I can felt. But I'm afraid to felt because it might felt not this way, but like shrink. Anyways, I'm planning to make some more of these. This is number one. Second finished object is the doll. I think I have shown you this doll before. So what happened here is I have attached the face with a golden thread and I've made a skirt for her. Without the skirt, she looks very different, but I wanted to have a little bit of color, to add some color to it. So I thought, what a nice, bright, I don't know, it's almost orange. It's not orange. I don't know. So here we go. This is finished object number 2. Have I finished anything else? Well, I haven't done much because I've been working on these big 2 projects that I have here. And I've been making some Easter things. Oh, well, this was not a small thing either. But another thing is we just moved to this house in, not the heart, we have been living in the heart of Auckland, in the city, which was quite noisy and full of tourists and students, which are so many there, which means partying until late and many drunk people. Anyways, now we live in a very peaceful neighborhood. And what I see outside my window now is so beautiful. Lots of green trees, palms, and roofs. And in the morning, it's very nice to hear the birds singing and pecking on these little berries over there. I'm very happy here. I have my own studio, as you can see. I have arranged all my yarn, finally, in a cupboard. I have a basket full of my yarns right here. And I have been overwhelmed by how much yarn I have, because before it was all in different bags and I had been thinking, oh my god, I don't have enough, I don't have anything, all I had was left in Istanbul. But now that I have organized it, I'm like, oh my god, I have enough, more than enough to last me for at least this year. And all I have to do is now think about what I have to do with my hand-dyed yarn, what projects I'm going to do. By the way, just to remind you, we are still going on with our self-dyed cowl with Anna from Dunkelgrün. And there is lots of amazing finished objects already there, and it has been extended for a while because I haven't finished anything. I have dyed a lot. Thanks to this cal, it has inspired me so much to try my own hand at all these experiments with colors, different yarns, wool, different fibers, and spinning it up. It is so exciting. So come on over to Anna from Dunkelgrün podcast group on Ravelry, the self-dyed cal, and join us. It will be lots of fun. And there are cool prizes that we have been planning for you guys. So now, if you're still with me, I just wanted to share a few plans that I want to do in the future regarding knitting and spinning and all that. And I want to answer one of the questions that Judy asked. So first of all, of course, I plan to finish all my works in progress. This sweater and this Bali grandma crochet blanket and the Easter bunnies. Of course, tomorrow is Easter, I have to finish it. Next thing, I'm definitely going to start a shawl or some other projects from my own hand-dyed yarn. And again, if you have any ideas, because I cannot really understand yet how best to show all the speckles and all this variegated yarn that I've made. If you have any ideas what I should do from it, please share with me. I will be very pleased to hear your ideas. And this is the whole point of me recording this. I want to reach out there to the community, which is on the other side of the world, really. So I'm here in New Zealand, you're there where you're preparing for summer and it's springtime, and over here it's going to be autumn and it's going to be colder and colder. And having that in mind, what would you think I could do with all my yarn? Also, I would love to make a doll using the fabric that I bought here, which would be a bit New Zealand related, like with some kiwi birds or other ethnic motifs, because I went to the War Memorial Museum, which I plan to make another separate video because it would be too much for this one otherwise. And I was fascinated by all the crafts that I found there, all the beautiful carved masks and boats and hand-woven fabrics and all that. This is a different story. It's very fascinating. So now to questions. Today I'm not going to talk about any recommendations for a book because I haven't read much. I've been just sticking to my favorite author, Bernard Werber, who is a French science fiction writer. I recommend his books in general, they're cool. And the question that I have from Judy today is about cotton yarn. So as she mentions, she says some people shy away from knitting with cotton, but as I was in Indonesia, I didn't have much choice and I had to do most of my projects from it. And I have to say that it's really a pleasure to work with cotton during the summer because your hands don't get sweaty and it's a very nice fabric to hold. Also, although the thread itself doesn't stretch much, depends on what kind of knitting or crocheting pattern you're using, it does stretch nevertheless. And there is so many different things that you can do. I would especially recommend knitting or crocheting with cotton for babies because this is super for baby skin, for there will be no allergies. It doesn't make you sweaty. It's perfect, really. It's such a sturdy, nice material to work with, and I really love it. Another question was what kind of tools I like to use, wooden or metallic. I like to use metal hooks, like this one that I'm using is a 3mm hook. and it's just no brand. I don't know, I've had it forever, maybe since I started. Maybe it's from my grandma. That's how long I've had it. And I think wood would be, maybe it's still fine. I haven't really worked with wooden hooks, but this yarn is not very slippery anyway, so a hook which glides smoothly into the fabric is what I need for this. Tell me, what do you think? What kind of yarn do you prefer, cotton or wool? And if it is seasonal, are you like me, you prefer to work with cotton in the summer and more woolly things in the winter, or it doesn't matter? And what kind of things would you normally make from cotton? So yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you very much for joining me. Please don't forget to follow me or subscribe or like. That just helps to get the videos out there. And I'll see you in the next video, which hopefully will be much sooner than this one. There has been so much going on in my life. I probably will have some big news for the next episode for you. So see you in the next episode. Happy Easter. Bye.